Welcome to another video. This time we're doing HSC Music 1 oral paper, question 2014, question 2, and the question is describe the musical features of this piece. So it's now 2021 and they don't really word questions like that anymore. But basically what this question is asking is describe the aspects of the piece that create interest or maintain interest. And it's referring to all concepts. So describe the features of the piece that attract interest and maintain interest would be another way of interpreting this question, and it's appropriate to all musical concepts, all 6 of them. All right, I'll give you a listen and then we'll start the analysis after that.
किरण शब्दों में धुन अक्षर है चंचल तगड़ 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 ये धुन ये बोल अनमोल
Okay, so let's go back and have some analysis. So we've got a symbol 1 bar ostinato. It's a syncopated ostinato that starts off. It's a monophonic texture to start off. It's played 4 times. And then we have the tenor performing a largely improvised melody, which is, it says here, vocal phrases are more rhythmic than melodic. So there's a bit of imitation of percussion instruments using the voice. I wouldn't call it beatboxing, but there's some imitation of percussion rhythms in the vocal improvisation. Vocal phrases are 2 bars long, and then there's a call and response with the percussion instruments, and their response is also 2 bars. So there's a call and response with 2 bar phrases occurring. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. All right, so let's just go back. So we've got rhythmic phrases. We've got rhythmic phrases more rhythmic than melodic. Call and response between percussion and the voice. The use of anacrusis. And anacrusis is when one of the parts will come in slightly earlier than the start of a bar. So they might come in a beat before the start of a bar, and that's called an anacrusis. All right, let's keep listening. Okay, so it says the voice uses predominantly short value notes. So we're talking quavers and semiquavers and triplets. So triplets being 3 notes to a beat. So 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 dot 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 1 2 2 dot 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 dot. They're triplet rhythms. So we don't have any sustained notes in either the vocal or percussion parts. We've got an electric bass guitar also playing a 2-bar ostinato that is syncopated. It's using just a narrow range of notes, about 4 or 5 notes, and that's on repeat as well. So we've got a bass line now. So we've moved into 3 melodic layers. 3 texture layers of bass line, percussion, and vocal melody. It's playing a simple bass line that's heavily repeated and syncopated. Okay, it says simple quadruple meter. So it's meter means time signature, and simple means that there's 4 beats in a bar, and simple means that there's 4 crotchet beats, and quadruple means that there's 4 beats in a bar. So that basically means it's a 4/4 time signature, and there's syncopation in the vocal in all parts. There's syncopation. So the vocal's moving into a higher register as the piece gets on, and if you listen to the accompaniment in the percussion's also getting more it's getting more complex as the piece goes on. Okay, so with the voice moving into a higher register in this section 3, it's building tension because there's a sense of building to a climax as he's in a higher register compared to the previous section. There's also if you listen closely, there's a call and response within the percussion part itself. So there's a bass drum part followed by a snare drum part, followed by a bass drum part, followed by a snare drum part. So let's listen to that. Bass drum, snare. Bass drum, snare, bass drum, snare. And then they also added shaker on the second time there for a bit more tone color contrast. So we've probably got about we've got bass drum, snare drum, cymbals, and a shaker sound, which is our 4 tone colors for percussion. So the added shaker part is increasing the number of layers of sound, and then of course increasing the density. So that's building tension as well, with more sounds coming in, and also the vocalist moving into a higher range. Okay, so we've got section 4. So the vocal melody is replaced by a reed instrument, some kind of woodwind instrument. So reed means that it's a blowing instrument, a woodwind instrument that uses a little piece of wood in the musician's mouth, like a clarinet or an oboe. Okay, so the reed instrument is playing in a high register, and that's in contrast to the electronic bass, which is playing in a low register. It's using a narrow range of notes, so there's only about 4 or 5 notes at one time. Okay, it's a very repeated melody, but it still provides melodic interest. Okay, which is the second point there. It's because it's so repeated, they've called it a simple melodic material by the reed instrument, mainly stepwise movement. So there's no leaps, and there's also pitch bends. So you'll hear let's listen out for the pitch bends and the stepwise movement. Diane. That would be the pitch bend. I'd say there's also a lot of melodic embellishment Embellishment means that there's a lot of unessential notes added. So that he does the musician, the reed instrument does a lot of turns. Diane, Diane. So it's going a note and then a note above and back to the note. So we call those melodic embellishments. Let's have a listen for the bends and the embellishments. Wait a minute. So the bends would be okay. So there's sometimes he moves cleanly between notes, but a lot of times he's bending between notes. The scale used is similar to an Arabic scale, so it's not using a standard major or minor scale. So that gives that world music sound and of Arabic music as well. The steps, it's definitely stepwise, the reed instrument. So there's definitely not many, or if any, there's no leaps in that at all. And then towards the end of the reed solo, he does repeated notes. So he does the same note each time with a syncopated rhythm. So it's in a descending sort of, it's a melodic sequence. He's doing the same rhythm, but he's starting it on a lower pitch each time, and he does it about 4 times. Again, let's listen to it again. So I think he does it 3 times actually. So that's a little melodic sequence there, and repeated pitches there that he uses as well. Okay. Thanks for listening, and enjoy your oral studies.